superhumans, it's Alix Fox here, your sexpert at Superdrug. Today I'm going to be answering some of your key questions about SEX to make sure that you have a Valentine's Day that's all boom, no gloom, and that's full of flowers and hearts. No accidents with your parts. First up, let's natter and chatter about stage fright. Now, stage fright is another term for performance anxiety, although I really don't like that phrase because it suggests that sex should be all about performance and achievement, when really, in my mind, it should just be about two people having a really great fun time. Now, in men, if a guy is really excited but perhaps also quite nervous about being in a sexual situation, then he'll produce a lot of the chemical known as adrenaline, which is also called the fight or flight chemical. And it raises your pulse and your blood pressure, so you've got plenty of energy. But unfortunately, during sex, it's not quite so handy because it does things like restrict blood flow to non-essential parts of the body, such as the penis, meaning that when you want things to go up, they go down. Stage fright can affect women's bodies too. You might be really keen to get jiggy, but if you're also a little bit anxious, then that can cause your vaginal muscles to clamp up and you won't produce as much natural moisture as usual, which can make things a bit uncomfy. Two things that can help make stage fright less of an issue are taking the pressure off and taking your time. Ease into things with something chilled out like swapping a sensual massage or sharing a warm bath. And remember that sex is primarily about having a great time. If that doesn't end up including penetration, but you've enjoyed yourselves, it's a win. Next up, let's talk about libido. Libido. It's a posh word for sex drive. Your libido can be affected by a whole host of things, including medications, ironically including hormonal contraception, how stressed you are, whether you're tired, and so on and so on. Libido is a little bit like a boat. It's very normal for it to bob up and down throughout your lifetime. If you find that you and your partner have mismatched libidos on Valentine's Day, and maybe you're not in the mood, but you want to give them some sexual satisfaction, then you might want to try a little move I like to call the purple pass. Give your partner permission to masturbate in front of you. You could say some encouraging things, tell them how sexy they look, and you might feel tempted to join in. But even if you don't, you've not done anything physical that you don't want to, but they've still got their rocks off. While we're talking about sex, just a quickie about body confidence. I hear from so many younger people who tell me that social media has a really tragic effect on how they feel about themselves and their bodies. My tip for that? Boot it, mute it, and salute it. If there are social media accounts that are making you feel bad about yourself, boot them out of your life. Unsubscribe, unfollow. If you can't do that for whatever reason, mute it so you don't see that negativity. And on the flip side, do try and follow accounts that are full of that bopo greatness that make you feel good about yourself. And every time you see one of those images, salute your brilliant self for being fantastic. Whale! You've had a condom fail. Now there are two potential problems here: pregnancy and contracting an STI. If pregnancy is a possibility, then an IUD, also known as a coil, if it's right for your body, can be fitted up to 5 days after unprotected sex. There are also a variety of emergency contraceptive pills that you can take, which lots of people call the morning after pill. But in fact, some of them can be taken up to 120 hours after a condom splits, although they're much more effective the earlier you take them. Go and see a GP as soon as possible, or pop over and chat to a Superdrug pharmacist and get your hands on what's right for you. Now let's tackle STIs. If there's any potential at all that you may have been exposed to the HIV virus, then there's a medication you can get called PEP, or post-exposure prophylaxis, which, if you take it within 72 hours, can help to prevent you from contracting HIV. Don't forget that lots of STIs show absolutely no symptoms whatsoever, so even if you don't look or feel unwell, it's important to get tested. You can find out more about tests and treatment from the NHS or Superdrug. Right then folks, I hope that all this information and hints have been handy, and whatever you choose to get up to or down to this Valentine's, I hope you feel like a true VIP on V-Day.